Having analyzed given unit in using the key performance indicator tab or the more advanced the benchmark tab, you might be interested to do a parallel analysis of all the other units, because you may have identified some saving potentials, you may be wondering maybe a lot of other units have similar saving potentials, so maybe my result isn't that bad after all. To do such a parallel analysis of all the other units, or if you're simply interested in the whole sector performance, you go to the sector analysis tab, and then you press generate, because now what the system has to do is to do a similar analysis for all the units, and you get the results out here in a table. You can save this table, export it to Excel, or you can just look at it online by pressing the Show Graphs tab here. And there you see the first. Here you see the first graph. There's 4 you can choose from down here. But what this one basically shows is that, as always, my unit is indicated with red. In this case, it belongs to this part of the histogram, where I have 29 units. So there's actually quite a few units, at least 20, that are doing worse than I am. And there's actually more than that, because I'm probably somewhere in the middle of this column here. And then there's also quite a few units that are doing better than I am. If you want to be a little bit more precise on this aspect, you can go to the distribution graph, and there you can see basically the cumulative distribution of all the inefficiency scores. So negative inefficiency scores means that these units are what we call super efficient. You can see the explanation of that if you go to the benchmark and you press the question mark. But what we see here is that Odense is sort of close to 60% in the cumulative distribution. So it means that there are 60% of the units are outperforming Odense in this model. There are also other more advanced graphical possibilities, one being the impact, where you basically plot the inefficiency scores against some other variable, so like operating cost. So a very wide column here means that we have a unit that has a huge operating cost. So basically the area you have under these graphs is a measure of the social loss from the whole sector of these inefficiencies, because from a social point of view, from society's point of view, of course, it's more important that the large units are efficient than the small units. You can also maybe wonder if you have the right models. You can go to the second stage analysis, where you will be able to plot your efficiency scores against some other variables. So, for example, you might be wondering if you should have included something like population density, that sometimes is a cost driver in these network models. And indeed, if you could perhaps make a small argument that there seems to be some increasing trend here, moving from the left to the right. So the more densely populated the area is, the higher the inefficiency. So perhaps population density should have been included. But in this way, you get an idea about the performance of the whole sector, and therefore get a more precise evaluation of your own performance. As always, my unit, in this case Odense, is indicated by the red points or bars or whatever.